Hi, and thank you for visiting my channel. For more information, kindly subscribe and follow. Now let's get started.
Ever since taking over as WWE's creative head, Triple H has been making some bold moves. One of the most common traits of his booking has been character changes of superstars. It appears that the game may be forced to turn one of his top champions heel after the recent predicament on SmackDown. The name in question is none other than Tiffany Stratton. This week on the Buff Barbie defended her WWE Women's Championship against Jade Cargill and Nia Jax in a triple threat match. What should have been an incredible bout turned into a debacle. This match was blemished by several botches and awkward sequences, leaving live crowds booing and social media ablaze with criticism. The match was already marred by Cargill being busted open, due to Jax's botched toss into the steel steps earlier. What exacerbated the situation was Stratton's mistimed dive to break a pin during the climax. Fans who had been cheering Tiffy time for her in the arena turned sour in real time. The 26-year-old started receiving widespread criticisms and backlash, even on social media, as a babyface. Tiffany Stratton relies on crowd adoration for her confidence and entitlement as aspirational. However, the recent debacle on SmackDown has turned the situation around, with the Buff Barbie receiving heat. Therefore, Triple H could be forced to turn her heel after what happened. Stratton could use the botched finish as kayfabe fuel where she snaps. The 26-year-old could blame the WWE Universe or her opponents for ruining her moment. This could naturally ignite a heel turn that would portray Tiffany Stratton as a resentful champion demanding respect. Such an organic heel turn would protect her in-ring reputation while channeling the negativity into heat. Hence, Triple H may use this predicament as an opportunity to turn Stratton heel. Triple H may have another major reason to turn. Triple H is known for making swift adjustments in storylines as per their requirements. When it comes to Tiffany Stratton, the WWE CCO might have another major reason to turn her heel. The Buff Barbie is set to battle Stephanie Vacker for the Women's Crown Jewel Championship at the upcoming Premium Live event in Perth. This will be a high-profile champion versus champion clash at Crown Jewel. However, this feud demands a heel versus face dynamic. With both Stratton and Vacker being babyfaces, it creates a difficult situation for the creative team to build the required tension and excitement in this feud. It risks diluting both women's momentum, especially with only 2 weeks until Crown Jewel. Stephanie Vacker has recently won the Women's World Championship and is a huge fan favorite. It becomes necessary for WWE to turn Tiffany Stratton heel to let the Dark Angel shine as a rising babyface. Meanwhile, Stratton has become a household name on the main roster and can adapt to any character. A smooth transition to a heel persona wouldn't affect her at this juncture. Besides, most of the fans prefer to see the Buff Barbie in her arrogant, villainous attitude. Hence, this gives Triple H another strong reason to change Tiffany Stratton's recent character on SmackDown. The latest episode of WWE SmackDown has sparked a wave of speculation among fans, analysts, and insiders, as it appears that Triple H, the man now fully steering the creative direction of WWE, may soon be forced to make a dramatic booking decision. That decision: turning one of his top WWE champions heel. With the landscape of the company constantly shifting and the pressure to deliver compelling storylines at an all-time high, this development could shape the future of WWE's main event scene heading into the final months of 2025. The current championship picture right now. WWE's championship scene is in an interesting state. On SmackDown, Roman Reigns remains the biggest attraction whenever he steps into the spotlight, but his schedule has been limited. Meanwhile, younger champions like LA Knight, Cody Rhodes, and Gunther are holding down their respective divisions with pride. while women's champions such as Io Sky and Rhea Ripley continue to dominate the narrative across both brands. The issue is that not all babyface champions can remain as heroic figures for long. When the crowd begins to grow restless, WWE is often forced to pull the trigger on a heel turn to reignite interest. That may be exactly what Triple H is considering now after the reaction to the most recent SmackDown, the fan reactions SmackDown's closing segment saw one of WWE's top babyface champions, whose identity has been kept under tight wraps by insiders, receiving a surprisingly mixed reaction from the live audience. While there was still support, a noticeable wave of boos and jeers emerged during their promo. For WWE, that's often the first sign that fans are ready for a change. Triple H, known for being far more adaptable to fan reactions than Vince McMahon, has shown a willingness to shift directions quickly. We've seen him do this with the way the Judgment Day grew into one of WWE's most dominant factions, or how Sami Zayn was elevated after his storyline with the Bloodline took off. If the fan sentiment has shifted, there's a strong chance he won't ignore it. Why a heel turn could be necessary. A babyface champion can sometimes grow stale if they're booked too strongly without compelling challengers. When a star wins too often, the audience begins to crave vulnerability or unpredictability. Turning them heel adds layers to their character, opening the door for fresh rivalries and story arcs. Another reason Triple H may be forced to consider this move is balance. Right now, WWE has an abundance of strong babyfaces across both Raw and SmackDown. With Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso, LA Knight, Becky Lynch, and Bianca Belair all occupying babyface slots, there's a risk of oversaturation. Heels, on the other hand, are essential to making the good guys shine. By flipping one of his champions, Triple H restores balance and ensures there's a credible villain for the roster's biggest names to battle. Possible champions who could turn while nothing has been confirmed. Several champions are currently being speculated about. Cody Rhodes, undisputed WWE champion. Cody is one of the most beloved figures in WWE. But fans have wondered how long his story can remain fresh after finishing the story against Roman Reigns. A shocking heel turn could reinvent his persona and cement him as the company's most despised villain. United States champion LA Knight has been one of the hottest acts in WWE for the past year. But the very nature of his catchphrase-heavy gimmick risks oversaturation. Turning Knight into an arrogant, hypocritical heel could extend his momentum rather than letting it burn out. Gunther, Intercontinental Champion. While Gunther has technically been a heel throughout most of his run, his recent respect-driven promos and dominant style have earned him babyface cheers. A sharp return to ruthless villainy could be the answer if Triple H feels the balance tipping too much in the face direction. Io Sky, WWE Women's Champion. Io has been working as a heel, but her popularity with fans has blurred the lines. If WWE wants to keep her firmly villainous, they may need to reinforce her role with a more aggressive shift in her booking. The SmackDown turning point. The most recent SmackDown episode highlighted the problem. During an in-ring promo segment, the crowd's reactions to one top champion suggested that patience may be running thin. Reports from the arena suggested that Triple H and creative writers were carefully monitoring the reaction. A babyface getting booed can be a death sentence if ignored. Just ask John Cena during his most divisive years, or Roman Reigns during the infamous 2015-2018 run where WWE resisted turning him heel despite overwhelming fan rejection. Triple H has learned from those mistakes. Unlike McMahon, who often stuck to his creative guns no matter the fan response, Triple H is known for pivoting when the writing is on the wall. Historical precedent. Heel turns have historically revitalized careers in The Rock's 1998 heel turn allowed him to become the corporate champion before evolving into the beloved People's Champion, Roman. Reigns himself became the most dominant figure in wrestling once WWE finally turned him heel and allowed him to embrace his tribal chief persona. If Triple H follows history, this decision could breathe new life into WWE's product. It would also give a fresh coat of paint to a champion who may otherwise be at risk of losing momentum. The risks, of course. Turning a champion heel isn't without risk. If executed poorly, the audience could reject the change, leaving WWE worse off than before. For example, fans didn't immediately accept Becky Lynch's 2018 heel turn because she was too popular. We had to course correct, allowing her to become the man and one of the top stars of her generation. Timing is everything. And Triple H will have to carefully craft the storyline to ensure the heel turn feels natural, not forced. The road ahead as WWE builds toward Survivor Series and Royal Rumble season. The timing for a major shift couldn't be better. Survivor Series in particular thrives on faction warfare and good versus evil dynamics, which makes a heel turn by a top champion extremely impactful. If Triple H does pull the trigger, the fallout will shape WWE's booking for months to come. New rivalries will form, alliances will break, and one of WWE's champions will step into a new chapter of their career. Triple H finds himself at a crossroads. After SmackDown, the writing on the wall suggests that one of WWE's champions may need a dramatic character change to keep the audience invested. The WWE Universe loves unpredictability, and nothing sends shockwaves quite like a heel turn. Whether it's Cody Rhodes embracing his darker side, LA Knight turning his swagger into arrogance, or Gunther doubling down,